Hi everyone! It's been a while since I posted my last speed build, but here's another one, and this is actually going to be a starter home and another caravan, which I am very excited about. It's also going to be a limited pack horse ranch build. I've actually had horse ranch for a while now, I think since December, and it was a Christmas gift, which I'm very happy to have gotten. So I really wanted to build something that was only using this pack, and I've finally done it, which is this really cool caravan. I think it's super cute. It actually has some really bright colors on the inside, and it's still got that rustic look. I have a bathroom outside, so that this would be a very small living space. And the first thing that I did was that I blocked off a space for the actual caravan and one for stables, because I really wanted there to be a horse in here and that horse to have everything that would be necessary for their well-being, really. And I really liked how the actual caravan looks. I think this might be smaller than the other one I made recently, which was for a spellcaster who was also a fortune teller. And this one was really more for a rancher, so there's everything for us to satisfy all of their needs. And I made sure to include a computer and sort of realistic touches such as chairs, probably, a space for storage and for clothes. And I really like the kitchenette. I used a mini fridge, so it was all very small, and I was actually able to make it all blue. But I am getting ahead of myself. First, I needed to pick a door, windows, make sure that the roof looked okay, and I think that the shape is alright for this sort of house. And I am building in Chestnut Ridge, by the way. This is Canyon Crossing, and I think it's not such a small lot, so you can easily just add more into this space. So I think that's a good way to have a starter home, because eventually you might earn money, and I don't love it when my Sims just become rich and they have everything they need in their super tiny home and there's nothing that they can really add to it. So I think that this is a nice way to actually keep some realism, and if you have other packs, you can make use of those. So yeah, I think that this is a nice way of doing this, just making sure that there's more things to do than just survive in here and eventually become rich. So I think you shouldn't struggle with bills either, because this is very cheap. And I added the public bathrooms so that this would be a bit more realistic. Maybe you could add a second caravan or even a third one, and either have more Sims living here, or maybe those caravans would be used for different things. And that way the public bathrooms would make a little bit more sense, or they would look more natural. And I just added a shower outside, and next to it, that shower, I eventually added a trash can. But I wanted to make sure that it looked like you could actually have a horse draw these caravans, so I added a shelf, so that kind of looked like seating. And I also added another one with some more supplies for the horses. I also grabbed the grill just because there was no space for a stove in here. And at first I tried to have a sink, but I realized that even if the sink and the counters are both from horse ranch, the countertop in the blue swatch didn't match the one with the counters and the one in the sink. And so I just decided to add a sink to the actual counter. And since I had some space free, I could have added a smaller counter, but I noticed that this was perfect for that mini fridge. And that way, even if this is on a diagonal, I feel like this space is pretty well utilized. It seems I have 44 tiles at the moment, and that's probably just because of the roof, because I think I might have added some trim. But that way you can add another caravan and have some more space, which I think would be a really nice way to play here. And that way you could still benefit from the tiny house. What are they called? Well, you know what I'm talking about. But if you don't have tiny living, that wouldn't be really an issue anyway. And having this size of house, I was actually able to have a single bed that just fit perfectly, and then at the foot of that bed I have a clothes rack, which I thought worked super well in there, especially because it had like the perfect width, so it actually kind of matched. And I also wanted to have some painted details or maybe a poster, so I was thinking that this was probably someone who trains with a horse, which is something else that you could add to your lot, but there's some horse training equipment spots, and there's probably one super close to this space, so that's not really something that you would need to save for. And either way, you still need to get your horse riding skill up, so it makes sense to ride over to those spots. But yeah, I wanted to have some more decoration in here, to have a painting, to use that really cute the chair with a blanket with some flowers. I think that one is really cute. I actually used some base game curtains, which I really don't like. The curtains from the base game, at least the more classic ones, I really don't like them. They look weird to me. I think that the texture is off, so I don't use them often. But yeah, I eventually decided that a desk was a better thing to have in here, so that was a bit more useful than this thing that I have as a nightstand. And I also think that having a clock and some items like that would be realistic. And I wanted to make sure to not only have those like decorations for the horse, to have other stuff so that the horse could actually be fed by your sim and drink water. So I also wanted to have some prairie grass, which could be really useful. Maybe that other caravan could be for the I forget what it's called, but for nectar making, and that would be another cool skill to have. It will also be useful to have somewhere to put to have the nectar aging. So maybe that's something that you would like to play with, or just something from another pack or from the base game. And I am now moving stuff around so that there's enough decorations, and it looks like these things are actually in use, because I wanted the clothes rack to look like it was full of stuff, just so that it looked more realistic. And I also thought about adding these metal horses outside. I am not sure if I actually kept them, but I was interested in that idea. And I do remember that at some point I added like a horse trophy thing as a decoration, and also to communicate that this was a skilled horse rider. And yeah, I am now adding that desk. I wanted to have a green chair, and at first I tried the more expensive chair, which I think looks really nice, but this one was a bit cheaper. And I also decided that it was more logical for this space to have a laptop. But of course, if you do not want a computer, you do not have to keep a computer, although that mini fridge looks pretty recent. And I also wanted to have that a few wooden sculptures. So there's the horse and there's the knife rack. I wanted to have some curtains, but again, I really didn't like the ones that I had added, so I decided to get some blinds, and I thought that looked a lot nicer. Also, the colors match all right. And another one of those activities that you could add in here and it would look perfect would be some woodworking, maybe with the Nature's Calling event workbench. So that one is still free. They have actually extended that event up until September 2nd. So if you haven't played it, do make sure to at least claim that one. You don't have to actually do any quests or anything. You can just log in and claim it. So that should take however long your game takes to load, and then just clicking a few buttons. But yeah, I wanted to move some stuff around so that there would be actually space for that woodworking table. I had forgotten that I had added it. I actually pre-recorded this because I had surgery on my wrist, and I am doing all right. I have almost no pain, but I didn't realize how much I wouldn't like editing with my left hand. So it has taken me a long time to upload videos and actually, do those voiceovers, because if I don't have the video edited, I cannot do the voiceovers. So yeah, that's actually getting kind of annoying. I should have also recorded some audio and done all of the other things. So yeah, I am now posting a few older videos. I'm kind of repurposing some stuff that I built for my shorts, and to just have it all in the same place by theme. So bedrooms in one and bathrooms in another video. I want to make one for kitchens, and if there's any sort of room that you would like to see as a video all about that one room and to have some ideas, do let me know which room that would be. And yeah, I have been kind of busy with all of that, So I had almost forgotten that I actually had this shorter and limited pack video that should be a lot easier to edit than my mushroom treehouse, which is coming out at some point. Actually, I had surgery before Enchanted by Nature came out, but I will make sure to have some builds with that expansion when I actually buy it, because I just didn't think that it would make sense to buy it if I wasn't going to use it that month. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And now we have added a few more little details. This is still a very cheap house because Horse Ranch has some really cheap items and decorations. So that's really nice about it. And also it kind of feels realistic that if you lived in a rustic space, you probably wouldn't have spent a lot of money on it. But I did want to make sure that it had some really nice decorations. So I have a painting and some other stuff up. And I was thinking that maybe this theme was Native American, so I wanted to have some of those decorations that actually show that. And then I kind of struggled to add the stairs that would lead outside of the caravan. This when I was pre-recording, it was kind of a mess. The whole thing, I was kind of nervous about getting surgery and having enough videos. So I think I've managed to not worry about the video so much, which means that I haven't uploaded that much. I'm sorry about. I really wanted to have more videos, and especially with the fairies, I'm super excited about that whole thing. I really love fantasy, and I really wanted to have something that was more fantastic. And I want to do so many occult builds and have different kinds of fairies and have them be roommates with other occults or partners with other occults. So if you have ideas for that, I would also really like to read those in the comments. And yeah, I think that I'm going to have a lot of fun with that other expansion pack, and I am going to try to actually make more voiceovers and edit my videos so that I can have more speed builds, because it's getting embarrassing. And I am now adding some more decoration. I wanted to have some sort of rack so that there could be a coat on the hat and other stuff, because I think that in small spaces it is very important to have a lot of storage that is more compact, such as the planks with the pots. And that trophy that I was mentioning, I think that's a third place prize. I think that it still allows you to tell that story, especially if you're starting with a new sim that has no skills. I'm also adding a few more decorations and stuff. I added one of those log benches, and I really liked what I did with those. I can't remember what they are called because I haven't spoken English in such a long time. But you know, the things that I added behind the restrooms with the dirt and all of that. I thought that was a realistic touch. And this is actually on the gallery. It has been there for a while now because I uploaded all of that when I built it. So if you are interested in having this in your game, you can find it there. My ID is Veranio, and I will also have the link for that in the description, because if you're watching this a long time after I have posted this, it's going to be buried under all of my other builds. I have added some saddles and stuff, which also looks nice, and it makes for some realistic storage, and some grass so that the fact that these wheels are broken gets a bit covered by them. And I have now added a tree, and after that I should be adding that terrain paint that I talked about and some rocks. But yeah, that should be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you soon. Bye everyone!